Hello, my sweet and precious students. Algebra 1, let's talk about it. Last lesson 40 was a bit of a doozy, and it's only going to get more fun from here, so I'm excited. Today we're talking about lesson 1. If you're following along at home, it is the third edition of the Algebra 1 Saxon book, page 165. For those of you in my class, make sure you are taking notes as you go along with this. Example number 1, we have bx over x to the third y negative 2 minus 3by 2x negative 2 plus 4y2 over b negative 1x2. This, our instructions we're told to simplify by adding like terms. First things first, we have 3 chunks here. I'm going to put this over a 1 so that we can see. We have this chunk, and this chunk here. What we want to do is simplify that so that we have all of our variables reduced down, and not all, I'm sorry, our exponents are all, our variables are reduced down and our exponents are all positive, all that good stuff. So taking a look here, this very first chunk, and to make it easier, right? So there's this chunk here. Ooh, I knocked that off there. There's this chunk here. There's this chunk here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, you see I have one of these x's up here and 3 down here. I'm gonna get rid of this one and I'm gonna make that a 2. Oh, I shouldn't have crossed it all the way out, sorry. That was x to the third. I'm gonna make that 2, okay? Now at the same time, I need to move that y up top. So I'm gonna have by squared, because the attitude changed, over x2. Okay, minus 3, now by squared, right, over x squared. You guys see that? Plus 4, and then upstairs x squared, not upstairs, I'm sorry, b1 gets moved upstairs, so that's b, and then y squared stays there, and then x squared. Okay, so now we're starting to look like they're all similar, right? In front of this b though, in front of this whole chunk here is a 1. I think it's an easier way to see it as like, these guys are like a tag, right? As I go erasing things. So there's like a 1 in front here, right? So think of it like this. If we did 1, and then we have by squared over x squared minus, that guy is a 3 by squared over x squared. So this is just like our tag that allows us to group those things, right? Plus 4 by2 over x squared. Now I wrote these numbers big because because they're on the top here, so they're really over 1, right? And that just makes it a big number. But now what we have is 1 minus 3, so that's negative 2, plus 4 gives us positive 2. So we end up with equals 2, positive 2, by squared over x squared. Now, I'll probably accept it if you write it like this, but technically you should write it with the 2 up top. So 2 by squared over x squared. This guy would be your answer. So we have to clean up everything before we can go combining like terms, okay? So that was example number 1. Let's see about example number 2. Simplify by adding like terms. Example 2 is going to be a negative 3b over b negative 3 plus 2b4 over a 3. All right, guys. So in order to do this one, what we want to do again is get our chunks. Here's, I think it helps if I do it in a different color. Here's one chunk, here's another chunk, right? So we want to get those chunks nice and cleaned up, meaning that we want to get rid of our negative exponents. So I'm going to swap these 2 around. So now I have b1 upstairs, because this is a 1, right? b3, and the attitude changed because it went upstairs, over a3, plus 2 b4 a3. Okay, so looking at this guy, that's actually b4, right? So b4 over a3 plus 2 b4 over a3. Again, there is a 1 in front here, right? So if I were to rewrite this so that you could see those like as a tag point of view, it's going to be 1 b4 over a3 plus, this guy has a 2, so 2 b4 over a3. So now, because these tags match b4 over a3, we would have 1 plus 2, which gives us 3 b4 over a3, right? But the technical way that you're going to want to write that is, I got to squish in here, 3b4 over a3. So this is what your answer should look like. So hopefully that's making a little bit more sense there. Let's see about some of these other examples. All right, so that was example 2. Let's do example 3. Same idea here. We have 7a negative 3b2 over c negative 1 minus 5b squared over a 3c negative 1 plus 3b squared over a 3c. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to clean this guy up again by getting those positive negative exponents, right? So we have 7b squared c1, right? Because I'm going to move this guy up over, and I'm going to take this chunk and move it downstairs, so a to the third, minus 5b squared, I'm going to take that c, move it up, c1, over a to the third, plus 3b squared a3c. Okay, guys, so instead of rewriting it this time, I'm just going to highlight those numbers. We've got 7, 5, and 3. So we got to be really careful about our signs, though. We have 7 minus 5, so 5, 6, 7, so that's 2, right? Plus 3 gives us 5, and then those tags all match, so we're, oh, wait, look at the end there. That C is on the bottom here. Ah, tricky, right? So just making sure I copied it right. I did. So we actually can't combine this guy with this, because this is B2C1 over A3, B2C1 over A3, B2 A3, C is on the bottom. So 7 minus 5 is going to be 2 B2C1 over A3 plus, this guy just stays the same. It's going to be 3B squared A3C. Bam, that is your answer. You just circle that whole thing. All right, guys. So now we're also going to talk about two-step problems. Two-step problems. So example number 4. Example number 4. Make sure you guys are writing these down. My goodness. If x plus 3 equals 7, comma, what is x minus 8? Okay, what is x minus 8? So the first step that we have to do here is we've got to solve this equation. And just a reminder, we always do our inverse operation because we're trying to get our variable by itself. So minus 3, we end up with x equals 4. So if x equals 4, because x plus 3 equals 7 is the same as saying x equals 4, then what is 4 minus 8 equals, because we want to plug in for that x over here. So we take that x information and we plug it in, we end up with negative 4. Either you do 4 minus 8 or you can add the opposite if that's easier. That was example 4. Let's try example 5. If x minus 5 equals 7, what is x plus 4? Okay, so we're going to solve first. We want to do the opposite here, so we're going to add 5, just like because up here they canceled out. So here they cancel out. We end up with x equals 12, right? So 12, since x is 12, we're going to plug it in over here. 12 plus 4 equals 16. So your answer is 16. Your answer over here is negative 4. Okay? So the way that I am showing my work is the way you need to be showing your work on your assignment as well. The practice problems are on page 166 at the bottom there. Go ahead and pause, get started on those. I want to see them on your homework, however, so make sure they're at the top of your homework. All right, x negative 2, y plus 3yx2 minus, I said minus, then I wrote a plus, minus 5xy. All right, we got 3 chunks in here. This is currently over 1, right? This has to go downstairs. So what we have is y x squared, because I changed that attitude, plus 3yx squared minus 5xy. I can't do anything with this guy here, but I can combine these two. This has a 3 here. You got to remember this also has a 1, right? So 1 and 3, that's going to give us 4y x squared. Notice I'm not doing anything with the exponents, right? It's just like a little tag that groups it together. We don't change that at all. But this thing, this garbage over here that I can't do anything with, you got to bring it down. Just like that. All right, so for B. I just lost my place. There we go. A, let me write this down. A, negative 8. B, 2. B, negative 9. Minus 4. B, 11. A, 8. Plus 6. B, 11. A, B, 5. Okay, so for these guys, let's first flip these things around. So we end up with B9, B2 over A8 minus 4B11 over A8, can't really do anything there, plus 6, but we have 5 B's down here. So if I get rid of these guys, I'm gonna have 6 B's here. So B6 over A8. Back up over here, 9, and that's going to give me B11, right? So for the ease of this, I'm just going to do this, B11. Now, there's no number in front here, so you have to remember, let's put in a 1. Now, this guy and this guy, these are the same ones. We can combine those two. We get 1 minus 4, which gives me negative 3, B11, A8. Now, plus 6, B6, A8. These guys look similar because they have the A8, but they have B11, B6. I cannot combine those. So you just got to leave them like this. This is your answer right in here. Let's take a look at C. So for C, we've got if x plus 7 equals 2, comma, what is x plus 3? Okay, so let's first solve for x. We're going to minus 7 from both sides. We end up with x equals negative 5, right? We take that information, we plug it in over here. We get negative 5 plus 3, which equals negative 2. So our answer is negative 2. D, if x minus 6 equals 4, what is x minus 5? Okay, so we're going to add 6 to both sides, plus 6 plus 6, x equals 10. So we take this information over here, we say 10 minus 5 equals 5. You box that up. That is your answer, my friends. Good work, and I will see you on the next lesson. Thank you so much.